Just want to give an overview tonight of just a grant proposal that we have in front of us. I'm going to just talk about an overview, hand you some paperwork you're getting ahead of time. Just talk through that and then answer any questions that you might have in regards to that.
Thank you.
The 3 pages you have in front of you, the first is an email from FEMA, the grant management specialist, and he's expressing the federal government's consideration for Belchertown as a grant opportunity.
Wait, which one of these papers you got here? We might be in the same sequence as you are. So.
Okay.
Which page? Which
the first one is you don't have all the colors and
yes. Okay, I got it. Just want to make sure
Page 17.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
No problem.
Sorry.
Well, I was actually just going to do a quick overview and then we'll go over each page.
Sure.
So I was just going to do the quick overview first, for a relatively quick overview.
Floor is yours.
Thank you. So the first one is just the email that I received, just telling us that we have the opportunity and we just are looking for feedback from the select board and just moving forward if we're still interested. The second page that you have in front of you is the grant matrix, which breaks down the cost sharing between the federal government and Belchertown. And the third sheet is a comparison of town department staffing and surrounding town staffing as compared to Belchertown Fire Department. FEMA believes that Belchertown is lacking in fire department staffing enough to consider us for a very competitive grant opportunity. They're offering us almost $500,000 to aid the town in achieving basic fire service staffing levels comparable to other towns of equal population as based on national standards. We recognize that Belchertown and all of the United States are in recession, and we recognize you are charged with moving forward on something that may cost the town money. But we believe this is an opportunity that will save the town almost $500,000 and bring our level of fire service up to a minimum level that the townspeople deserve. Even with a successful grant, we will still be heavily dependent on the volunteerism from which the fire service here in Belchertown was built. The additional personnel will make it possible for our fire department to meet the national standard for basic fire department response. The standard is NFPA 1720 and it stipulates the minimum safe staffing levels and on-scene response times every community should provide. This grant will give us the resources to meet the basics of that standard. Besides the ability to provide residents a timely, safe emergency response, we will have the resources to provide comprehensive code enforcement, public education, and truck maintenance duties. New hires will be trained as firefighters and EMTs, which provide resources to our EMS department. I encourage you to lend your support so we can pursue the opportunity. If we're successful, we will immediately be able to hire 4 firefighters at an initial outlay of $30,000 for the first year, and that we explained in the grant matrix. We're just seeing the beginnings of an economic recovery. We certainly recognize it won't be fast. The grant allows us to get our staffing right away using mostly federal money, front-end loaded. And then it's a program that we would have to keep for 6 years. The worst case scenario is we get the grant. If you say, okay, we move forward with this grant, the worst case scenario is that we get the grant and they award it to us, and then at economic forecast you say, we can't go forward with this any further. With that, we would get a black mark against us in regards to getting further federal grants. But that's kind of worst case scenario for that. Once we accept the grant, if in 3 years down the road, we then are in economic hard times, if we decided to cut firefighters that were hired under that program, we would then be responsible for monies paid by the federal government. Whatever those monies are having to be. But we still, in the fire department, believe it's a worthy opportunity and move forward to ask for your support.
So how many firefighters are we talking about?
Initially,
you said 4.
Yeah, well, initially when I was talking to Gary, I had said 3 firefighters, only because we've written this grant for probably almost 5 years. In that 5-year time period, we've changed some of the parameters, changed some of the scopes, and so in my initial conversation with Gary, I mentioned 3. The grant that they are responding back to, which was written 2 years ago in '07, is for 4 firefighters, and that's to meet this NFPA 1720 requirement.
No, so year 1 is 4, year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is always is the same 4?
Are
we talking about increase?
The grant is for hiring 4 full-time firefighters.
Okay, I guess I had an impression that we're going to do 4 and 1 more and 1 more and 1 more.
No, I'm
It's
sorry.
4 and we're committed to 6 years.
Correct.
And if we don't fulfill our commitment, we have to repay the money we...
Says 5 years.
Yeah, but this, you have to keep them 1 year after.
1 year after.
Okay.
Okay, similar to the police grant.
That's correct.
And in year 1, it costs us 30, year 2, 58, year 3,
And there's a typo.
12.
Yeah, I'm sorry, there's a typo.
Okay, it should be 112.
That is a typo.
That is a typo, I wish it wasn't. Just passing that around. It's 122 instead of 12,000. Brought updated, there's just two.
And 169, 235?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Actually, a question for Captain Workman.
Sure.
John, as far as these figures go, the personnel estimates,
Yeah,
do you know if that's for just straight firefighters, or could those be firefighters/EMTs?
they are actually specified as firefighter EMTs,
Okay.
so that would be part of the provision. If we want to